People thought this was a scam for the longest time, because there's a lot of different video game scams out there where people like, crowdfund to make a game, and then they take the money and then run.
What some are saying the biggest scam in video game history happened in the last couple days, which is just insane. Have you guys heard about The Day Before? Have you heard about this game at all?
I have
Oh, yeah.
on base staff.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know all about it.
Okay. So the company it's called Fantastic, and just 4 days, as put out by this Twitter post over here, just 4 days after the game was released, the company just shuttered its doors 4 days after the release of its.
Oh, you're kind of jumping to the end. There's so much more to this.
Okay, we'll guide us through here.
Yeah,
Adam.
let me take over here.
Sure,
so years ago, all right, this I think in 2019 is when they first maybe said that they were going to be working on it. This company came out in 2015, and they are the ones who made Prop Night. I don't know if anyone's heard of Prop Night. That's kind of their biggest game until they released the trailer for The Day Before. This was in 2021, and it very quickly rose to the top wish-listed game in Steam. Like, that's pretty prestigious. Like, everyone was interested. It was immediately on my radar. I love survival crafting zombie games. 7 Days to Die, I'm a really big fan of. Great game by Fun Pimps. Well, this was a game. It was beautiful. The graphics were fantastic. The voice acting was actually really horrible, but you figured it was just like some devs that are obviously not good actors that were just trying to like cheese up the game, but everyone was really interested in the game. Everyone thought it was fantastic, and as the year went by, somewhere in 2022, I don't know exactly when, people they were trying to keep the excitement alive for the game. So Fantastic were putting out little teasers here and there, and it got people to start asking questions. And this actually all happened before the release of the game, which was, I believe, December 7th, so a week ago. And over the course of the year, like 2022, people started asking questions and finding out that there wasn't really a game to be had. In fact, what they showed, the gameplay that they were showing, was more perfectly curated sections of a would-be game. So that famous trailer that got the wish list, or The Day Before to be on the wish list where it was actually not a game at all. It was more a perfectly streamlined, I don't want to say movie, but kind of. It was basically like a movie. No one was actually playing the game. They just ran this script to show what the game could be, what they wanted it to be. And then the game came out, and oh boy. Now, I watched a lot of people. I watched a lot of people play it. I watched Dr. Disrespect was playing it. Az Heel versus Babyface was playing it. And I watched a lot of Az playing because it's fun to watch him play shitty games. And it looked good on the surface.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it looked like a game that was built for a window, like a window shopper. Right? You want to look at it, you're looking
North
window
Korea
shopping,
game.
like, oh, that game looks good. Yeah, on the surface, that looks like a good game. The graphics look good. Like, look at the graphics here. Like, the graphics seem decent. Now, this is, of course, a trailer. So, like, this is making it look a lot better.
It looks good.
This is not what the game looked like, though. All right? This came out before the game.
The lighting
like,
is so
the
good.
gameplay.
And textures are fire.
Yeah, actually, in some portions of the game, it did look good like this. But then people started playing the game and realizing that the game was empty. It was boring. All right? There were people that were like, I'm so bored in this game. Now, this was before what happened. Just, I believe Monday is when this whole the scam really locked into place. But after the game came out for a couple days, people were playing it. I saw a lot of streamers from all over different genres were playing this game, trying it out because there was so much hype about it. And the underlying thing with all of them was it's fucking boring. In fact, the devs came out 2 days after the game came out, stating we're gonna up the amount of zombies. There's just like we're hearing the complaints, which to me, that's great news. When you hear the devs going, "We're listening to you guys. We're gonna change this in the game," and I'm like, "That's fantastic." So they're listening. They're adding more zombies because people were not running into zombies. They were just running into other players and getting killed. Well, because it turns out it was an extraction shooter. And I say was because it is no longer on the Steam store. All right. They marketed this game as this zombie crafting MMO, massive multiplayer online game, which would be an open world. You could roam around all over the place wherever you want. Well, it turned out that was false. It turns out it's more of an extraction shooter where you go into the zone, you get a bunch of stuff, you extract it, you could sell it, and you upgrade your stuff, and you go back in and do the same thing over and over again. And that's not what they were selling this game as. So this game got review bombed more than I have ever seen. When we talked about this on Monday on my show Base Staff, it had 19,000 negative reviews on Steam. And when we started the show on Monday, it was still available for purchase. And halfway through my show, they took it off. You can no longer buy it. Why? Because Fantastic is closing down. In fact, they probably already have closed down. They probably were already planning on closing down before they released this game. I think that they released it as a way to recoup some of their losses because they clearly went bankrupt making this game. And
Yep.
here is this is their statement that they put out on Monday. You want me to read it?
Sure.
Today, we announced the closure of Fantastic Studio. Unfortunately, the day before has failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners, which is why they released the game at all.
Right. 100%.
We invested all of our efforts, resources, and man hours into the development of the day before, which was our first huge game. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately, we don't have the funding to continue the work. It is important to note that we didn't take any money from the public during the development of the day before. There were no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat, and tears into the game. I wanna just pause there for a second because this is true. All right, it is true. They didn't, take any money before the game was released, but they released the game knowing it was trash. And I think they released the game knowing that they were going under. All right, and that solidifies it as a scam in my head. I think that they truly believed in their game at one point, and there was a point long before it was released. I believe probably months ago, they were like, "We're going under. We cannot financially continue." All right, well, what do? We have to at least sell the game and make something from it so we can pay off the people that we owe all this money to. So I think that's what their plan was. Sell the game, close their business. Now, this is an interesting thing. Steam, when you look at the listing, it had the developer and the producer. And prior to them closing down on Monday, it said Fantastic Studios on both. Now, after they closed the game down, it changed to a different company name. So I think what they're trying to do is shed off this blunder, all right, in the gaming industry. Because guess what? Fantastic Studios, they're screwed. Even if it just they can't, even if they like filed bankruptcy and like crawled out of this and like somehow didn't have to close, they're scarred in the gaming community. The gamers know they're not going to trust these people anymore. No way. That you sold a bunk product just to try to recoup your losses, and you basically just put it on the player, the player base that you're supposed to care about. Well, this proves you didn't give a shit about the player base. Please just bail us out by buying our trash game. That's essentially what happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that's my piece.
fentanyl laced drugs is what happened.
Blabs just pulled this
Okay.
up. Them actually changing their name, so they realize that their brand is so tarnished that they've actually just totally rebranded their name and everything that's associated with it at this point.
Hilarious. I
Wow, you
didn't see
called it. That's
this.
crazy.
I did
You
not see
literally said
this.
that on Monday. That's wild.
Good job, Blabs. Good job, Blabs,
Oh
finding
no,
this.
actually, chat.
Good job, chat.
Damn. You called
So
it.
I did call
You
this,
called
didn't
it.
I?
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
So
I knew it.
obviously,
It's wild.
like anybody who's been in any sort of situation where there's like real money attached to this, right? There's real money that's being sunk into development of this major project. There is a 0% chance that they knew that they didn't have this planned going in. You don't see an unsuccessful launch and be like, in 4 days later, be like, well, we're done. This is something that 100% was seen months and months in advance. And
Hell yeah. Oh
this reminds me of the game Radical Heights. I don't know if you guys remember Radical Heights from
Don't know
it was
it.
about 5 years ago. This is a game that was thrown out. It was created by Boss Key Productions, and this game I loved this game. And it was a free-to-play battle royale that was done like an 80s style, and it was really stupid and over the top. And when you won a game, it actually played the best. You're the best around. But this was put together by Boss Key Productions, which was done by, which was like the last-ditch effort from Cliff Blazinski, who he's a pretty big video game developer. And but this game was really, really fun. But it was also extremely bare bones, and it was a free-to-play game. It wasn't. Now they did have like a kind of a season pass where you can go in and buy, buy the game and such if you wanted to, or buy a pass, just like you can on Apex or Fortnite or whatever else. But it was Cliff Blazinski very much said that game was pretty much a Hail Mary. It was a Hail Mary to attempt to save the studio. And I think that's exactly what releasing the game was meant to be. It was meant to be a Hail Mary with, dear God, hopefully there's some sort of excitement around this game and we can sell a ton of copies, and then say, okay, look, you guys bought it. Now trust us in the next couple months. Now that we have money, we're going to be able to, support the game. But obviously, I think that also says a lot about where video games are. I think a game like this, the day before, this is a game that would have been canceled if it was done by any other company because it just wasn't far enough along. And you saw the review for it. IGN gave it a 1. How do you get like?
Well,
Yes.
if you look at Steam,
Wow.
I don't know how well you can see it, but it says 21,701 overwhelmingly negative reviews. That's a lot of
21,000.
reviews.
Almost
So it's
22.
just going up, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it will continue. And over on Twitter, it actually said on that post that they had, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it is worth mentioning. 91,000 returns over here on the right-hand side.
Damn.
91,000 returns over here on the right side of the screen. So
Good.
if
I
that's
hope more
accurate,
get their money back.
Found it
I hope.
overwhelmingly negative than what is
Right.
being reported.
and the way I read this statement here, it's like, well, we tried. And that's pretty much everything that needs to be said on that statement. Well, we tried and it didn't work out, and now we're in debt.
I don't know how they're gonna keep that. They state right after the where I stopped. They said those who are worried, like the servers will be operational. It says at the moment the future of the day before and prop night is unknown, meaning that the day before they're not. It's like, are they giving up on it? It's unknown. Okay, well, what does that mean, right? So you're shedding the name to try to like shift, and people don't know about it anymore, and prop night, but the servers will remain operational. It's like, you don't understand. Like last year, there are countless in the gaming world. There were countless videos about this game being a scam. People thought this was a scam for the longest time, because there's a lot of different video game scams out there where people like, crowdfund to make a game, and then they take the money and then run. I mean, people think that Star Citizen is that type of thing, although I have now seen gameplay, and that shit looks fucking good. Like, I hope that shit comes out, and it's as good as they claim it's going to be. But,
It didn't come out?
No, I don't.
Weren't people
No,
playing
not
it?
Starfield. Not Starfield.
No, Star Citizen years ago people were playing it. Was it like a
is it
beta or
out?
something?
Maybe. Yeah, I think maybe. I don't know.
It's an Amazon game, right?
No, it was a crowdfunded game. They have like it's like the highest amount of money that they ever has ever been crowdfunded for a game. It's like insane amount of money,
I
but it
thought
looks
people were playing
awesome.
it.
Well, what's interesting here is that
Yeah.
it actually continues. Our buddy Nick from over at Second Wind, who used to be over at Escapist, they have their new brand, Second Wind. He's like their boss over there, and he put out a series of tweets which was really kind of interesting, kind of pushing through the idea of the scamminess of this. He says, if you need any indication that the day before is a scam, the CEO of Fantastic just nuked himself from Twitter. Okay,
Yep.
that's pretty damning. But let's continue. Says, and the website has been quickly nuked as well. This is all you'll find. No way to even contact the studio. Oh, that's right. Now let's see how long before Mythos scrubs any mentions of it. And they completely wiped out their YouTube channel now.
Wow.
And he's like, well, I'm done talking about this. Oh, wait. Then they nuked the Medium post where they talked about what it meant to volunteer at Fantastic. And then the CEO nuked his LinkedIn. So,
oh my gosh.
It's like,
This is
bam.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a legit scam.
They had this planned. They
Yeah.
100% had this planned.
That's
And
crazy.
Facts. I believe it.
now you just wonder what's going to happen next. When will we hear from what they call it? Eight points. This company, 8 Points, they changed their name to. Like, would anybody actually touch this?
What if they made a
this
good
company?
game?
Good luck.
Well, Prop Night was people liked Prop Night. That I know a lot of DBD Dead by Daylight players that played Prop Night, that enjoyed it, that had fun with that game. And I mean, I never played it myself because it looks, I don't know, I'd rather just play Dead by Daylight. I think that, you know, it's an interesting type of game, but not my flavor. But I don't know.
If they came back out with like a good game and people played it and like, oh, it's good, you think they could like come back?
I don't think I think that they have a long hill to climb.
Yeah.
If they even if they put a good game out there, like
Who's gonna play it?
That's what I'm saying.
well,
Someone might.
there will be someone's gonna play it, sure, and it would have to get the best word of mouth between gamers. You know, IGN could. I mean, gamers don't even give a shit about what IGN says. The Game Awards, like these
You need a
things
streamer to play it, a big streamer.
you
Dr.
need a lot of.
Disrespect.
You need Ninja, you need Dr. Disrespect, you need like all the freaking big streamers that kids are watching to go, oh damn, this game's actually fun. We're gonna play it. If without
that's
that,
the
they're
only thing.
fucking dead in the water.
That's the only thing that could save it. Maybe.
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And I can't imagine anybody touching anybody that worked for that company, at least at an executive level. Can't even imagine. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.